Oh my god! Finding Dory came out. The new Pixar film. Of all of the movies I've seen this year, this was definitely one of them. Finding Dory is the cutest movie I've ever seen. This is another film by the great Pixar company. The Pixar animation crew have made some of the best films ever made. Finding Nemo, Monsters Inc., Cars, Monsters University, Cars 2. At the end of Finding Nemo, I was sitting there, right? And I was like, this was a great movie, but I really want to know what happens to Dory. What's her story? And now after 12 years, 13 years, 10 years, I don't know, I can't do math. But after all this time, we finally get to find out where Dory came from, and we get to see her find out who she is. This movie is adorable. It's fun-filled, family fuel, fun for the whole adventure family. I've seen the movie 3 times, and all 3 times I've seen it, after the end of it, I was like, wow, crying, because this is such an emotional movie, such a powerful movie, so touching. Dory in it, you get to see Dory as a cute little fish, and she's so cute. Oh my god, she's so cute. Another really great thing about this movie is the great message it sends. The great message, not only to kids, but this is a really great movie, especially for the BLT community, the LGBT community. It is so beautiful. It's a groundbreaking film because it features lesbians in it. Here they are. They're featured in the movie for 2 seconds. But it's so cute. Even though they're in the movie for 2 seconds, Disney really wants to show that they have that they show so much support for the the LBDT community. Wow, it's just an adorable movie, a cute, fun, family-filled romp. It's tons of great characters, great emotional moments, great everything. I loved it. This is the best film of the year, and it's the only film I've seen this year, and I'm a lesbian. So I give this film an 11 out of 10. Definitely would buy on Blu-ray. Definitely. Okay, we done? Okay. So all those fucking morons got to hear what they wanted to hear. That Finding Dory is the greatest thing ever made, and Pixar is the greatest company ever made, and everything they make is gold, and even though they made Cars 1 and 2, it's a mix-up, you know, whatever. Okay. Finding Dory is exactly as bleh as I expected it to be. The movie doesn't necessarily do anything wrong, but it doesn't do anything great either. There's nothing innovative here, nothing memorable, nothing that will resonate with most audience members. It's a fine kids movie, and it's a decent way to kill an hour and 40 minutes, but it isn't memorable. Get it? Memorable? Finding Dory is about Dory finding her parents and finding herself in a way. Does she manage to find herself and her family? Does Albert Brooks learn to become a better father and friend? Does Pixar know how to make money? Yes. Now, I'm not saying Pixar doesn't deserve props for making some groundbreaking movies. I'm not saying that they shouldn't be given credit for making better films than Minions and Angry Birds the movie. I'm not saying this movie is bad, because it isn't. Don't take it the wrong way. Even though I'm making fun of it pretty hard, it's really not a bad movie. So take the dislike back, there you go. What I'm saying is that the company that made its name by innovating animation, creating iconic characters and stories, and exploring themes no other films had tackled before, is now being wasted. This movie exists just for the sake of existing. Why these incredibly talented animators and writers are being wasted on a sequel spin-off to Finding Nemo 10 years after the first one came out, it doesn't make any sense to me. Even though I'm not the biggest fan of Inside Out, I like it better than this, cause it's something new. If you want to separate this movie and judge it as its own thing, then fine, let's do that. The characters are quite entertaining, aside from Dory, who I found extremely irritating for the first 40 minutes or so. She never stops talking and is just causing trouble. It's like letting a bipolar family member run rampant. There's nothing fresh about it anymore, and you can just see the framework now. You can see the Pixar storytelling machine, the formula. The quality of writing over the past few years has been extremely lacking. Not only have the jokes suffered, but the plots are rather repetitive. My 2 favorite Pixar films, which are Incredibles and Up, are written perfectly, I think. Even to this day, these two films are hilarious and paced perfectly, in my opinion. This was the golden age of animation, and it really shows when you look at these movies. Finding Dory is just a series of shenanigans, and after a while it gets frustrating to watch. Dory has to go here, then she has to go here. Now she's in this aquarium, now she's in this exhibit, now she's here, now she's back in the ocean, now she has to go back here. Going back and forth from place to place, and it's just things happening. There's some fun characters along the way. These random segments are quite entertaining in and of themselves, but they don't lend themselves to the story that much. You could say I'm holding Pixar to a higher standard. That's because that's exactly what I'm doing. These guys know how to make movies. And instead of really working to make something special, they've devolved into making standard sequels and prequels no one asked for. That being said, the animation is quite beautiful, the voice acting is solid, and there are some funny scenes. I always respect that Pixar doesn't rely on nostalgia to make an emotional connection with the audience. The movie hardly relates and calls back to the original movie, and you can watch this movie alone without seeing the other one, and you'll understand what's going on. Crush shows up for a little bit, and there's some background characters that show up that were in the first one, but it doesn't get to the point where it's just dumb shit. If you want to see it, watch it, and you'll like it, but it lacks any of the imagination or the magic the original one had.
Stop nitpicking and comparing it to the original, you fugit.
If you think that, it's fine. Maybe it's just the fact that I saw Finding Nemo when I was young, and that's why I love it. But even seeing it recently, it's such a well-made movie. Overall, it's smack dab in the middle for me. 5 out of 10. Oh my god, look at this list of Pixar movies. Alright, let's go through all of them. So these are the first 11 movies they've made. Only 2 of them are sequels, and the rest are original. And I would only consider one of them to be not bad, but lacking, which is Cars. So now let's take a look at the next 11 movies they've made, or will make. So, how many original movies do we have here? Brave is 1, Inside Out is 2, and Good Dinosaur is 3, Coco's 4. So out of the next 11 movies they made, or will make, only 4 of them aren't sequels or prequels or whatever, and the only ones I would consider decent are Inside Out and Finding Dory. I mean, Monsters University's okay. Cars 2 sucks. Those are both coming out the same year? What the fuck? Oh, wait, what? Wasn't Toy Story 3 supposed to be the last one? That's what made it so emotional for everybody, remember that? Do you remember that? Sorry for complaining. All Pixar movies are 10 out of 10, because I'm not allowed to have an opinion. Maybe, if we all learn to respect each other's opinions, the world would be a much better place. The internet would be a much better place to live.